Fellow gamers, welcome to today's Cardfight Vanguard deck profile.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Argo. This is D-Rec here, bringing it back with another deck profile. I'm here with my boy Chris. He's going to show us his Rezael Vita deck profile post DZBTO5, even though we're on DZBTO6, but it's okay because we got all the updated support. Chris, go ahead, take it away. Show us what your profile is all about today.
So you play Rezael. I mean, it's the Rezael deck. We're gonna start off with the ride line first. We play the bad boy himself, Rezael.
No Vita in the ride line?
Why would you play Vita in the ride line? He doesn't proc. You need to do Divine Skill turn 3. Unless
That's
you already.
Yeah. Just want to make sure.
Then grade 2, we plays the grade 2 from set 1. He just basically gets to give you a free card that's grade 2 or less to drop.
Easy peasy.
Grade 1 that we play is for that is Tranquilla. Skill is just stupid good whenever it's rode upon. As long as you have 3 different grades in your hand, you just basically check your top 5. And worst case scenario, it's a free call if you can't do that skill.
Hey, free is free.
And then for the grade 0 that we play in the ride line, we play the bad boy himself, Wingle Brave.
Because, the OG good boy.
I have a very important question. Why is that not shiny?
Because it's like $50 plus for the SB. I don't have fuck you levels of money.
I don't know. With some of the other shiny cards you got in that
Yeah,
deck.
I pulled those. I got lucky at RNG.
Hey, if you've got Saragons, you got money. I'm just saying.
I bought those at 15, not when they were 40. All right.
Now I'm into the main deck, though.
Main deck, though, we obviously got to play 4 Vitas. Literally, this is the card you want to see by turn 4.
Number 2 deck, but it's number 1 in your heart.
Number 1 in our hearts.
And then we also still have to play is 3 base Rezael, just so that we can fully get Vita to fully go off.
Perfect. Always Persona riding.
Yep. Then as well in the grade 3, we play 2 Gabuelias.
Only 2.
You only need 2 in the deck.
I don't know. Morikawa would disagree with you. You got to run all the grade 3s.
Jesus. All right. And then to finish off the grade 3s, we just play Bracing Angel Ladder.
Gosh. And I know you said this is the last of your grade 3s there.
Yeah.
Why that over, say, something like the Fire Regalis?
It's more so the fact of just how the meta was at the time and still kind of is. Again, it's just insanely just good. And it also helps build soul for Rezael.
So you say it was just a meta call?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
In grade 2s, just gonna start off is with the Neoberis. He is quite literally the best, most consistent grade 2 option that you have in the deck. That is the only card in the deck that is Rezael specific. Allows you to effectively do 1 or 2 things depending on when you use it during your battle phase. Because end of battle phase, he can basically help when if you're at 5 damage for the potentially use your divine skill. Or if you use it in the early part of the battle, you're going to be able to use that to check to see if you're going to be hitting triggers for your drive checks.
Gotcha. So timing is key, and sequencing of your attacks is key depending on what state in the game you're at. If it's early or mid game versus late game.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Awesome choices. Awesome choice.
And then we play is 2 Cadwalla, only just because right now he's just too expensive to get at 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. If I could, I would play him at 4 because he is just very good.
Perfect. But at 4 would be better.
4 would absolutely be better just because you would see him more consistently. That's the only other thing. And then we also play 2 Liel.
Mm-hmm. You're talking about expensive right there. That's some expensive cardboard right there.
I mean, yeah, but she's just insanely just good for her cost.
And like you were saying before, the soul is kind of critical to being able to do like a Rezael skill.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also it does at times if you need to. Like say if you have a Rezael in your drop zone, you need to get that back in the deck somehow. She can shove 1 back because of her first cost.
Gotcha. Awesome.
Yeah. And then to round off grade 2s, it's just Biscottis.
Only 2?
Only 2 Biscottis because again, she's really just there because again, Cadwalla. She's still a really good card to get, like say as a discard cost, so that you can still get the +1 draw, or even again help you with stacking triggers or get a free call during a Persona ride triggers.
Gotcha. Now, if you had to play 4 of her over 4 Cadwalla, 4 Biscotti?
I would play Cadwalla more because again, Cadwalla really allows you to search for those grade 3.
Okay, so you prefer the search over the extra draw,
Yeah,
either
because
on ride or
your
on
deck
guard.
is doing enough drawing as it is.
Okay, if that next card is what I think it is, then
Yeah.
I would just add to that.
Which is literally the must-play for any Keter deck for Sargons.
Or Saragon.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Grade 1s wise, we play 3 Aerial Sages. It can be up to 15k boost, or worst case scenario is a 13k booster.
Really solid grade 1 slot.
And then we play 1 Topaz. He can allow you to get to any of your like grade 1s, like or grade 2s that you really need to see in the game.
Now, not 2. I know it's limited to you have to put 2 cards from your ride deck back in.
Yeah.
You would play 2 just to see him more consistently, or no?
Nah, because it's not the end of the world if you don't see that. Like it's really situational. But then to round off, getting close to rounding off the grade 1s, but we do play 2 of her. It helps you allow to thin your deck, so that way you can potentially see your Rezaels, your Vitas, or any of your grade 2 combo cards.
Gotcha. And I see that also she's a pumped up booster there if
Yeah.
you're at grade 3.
Yeah, if you're at grade 3, and if you have 4 or more units, you just get a +5 boost. And then we play 3 PG, and then 1 Elementaria.
And that's pretty self-explanatory. There's no reason not to play the Elementaria at
Yeah.
that point. That being like a $20, $25, $30 attack right there. If you're kind of running on a budget, 4 PGs is still.
I mean, cheapest copies are around 10, but still, like, not everyone's willing to still even spend that kind of money to have an Elementaria.
Very true.
Like, and PGs are a dime a dozen nowadays. And then for the trigger line, we start with playing 3 of the effect fronts.
Only 3.
Because in Reza, you want to maximize your crit line.
Would you sub her out for maybe say the new double rare that says at the end of the battle that if it's retired,
No.
push it to soul?
The shield bonus is far better than getting soul bonus because, again, Neilberis effectively is your soul bonus card because he shoves himself into soul.
So you're not worried about running out of soul or having.
Not necessarily. The only matchups where you really run into that kind of problem is like a prison matchup.
And it's going to eat something out of your soul.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the crit line, we have 4 of the effect crit, Blade Feather Dragon.
And then what was your generic crit choice?
Generic crit choice, we have the Bang Dream one, is one of the many, and then we have 3 of the elemental crits. This guy is just adorable as hell.
He's a little good boy.
He's just a little
He's
dude.
another little good boy.
Yeah, just a silly little guy. And then for the heals, we do 3 generic of these Magus cards, and then we play this effect heal.
And that's the one that checks if the attacking unit attacks twice or more.
Yep. So basically, if your opponent has a restanding Vanguard, say you're playing an Overlord or a Varga, or once the next set comes around with Basagra, where there's multi-attack, this comes much more in handy now.
Would you consider playing one of the effect heal that checks if you're at a lower grade than your opponent, or no?
Not really, because not many decks are playing like grade 4s or anything like that right now. So like you're really not needing to see that.
And Messiah did just get support.
They did, but like also at the same time, this deck gets around Messiah pretty easily.
Having the early game, a stronger early game is kind of good
You
for
have a
that
stronger
matchup.
Yeah, because you have a stronger early game.
And then OT of choice.
OT, we play the blue OT. Almost any over trigger that's the elemental ones, you can kind of run in the deck. The preferred ones are typically blue or red OT. The red OT because you can get more attacks out of that. Blue OT is if you're really wanting to assert pressure and get something back from drop.
How about the purple one for free healing? Not really.
I mean, your deck's already kind of doing that multiple times.
Essentially, yeah. You're
like,
doing
sure,
free
the extra heal would be cool, but like pushing for extra criticals is always nice, and potentially getting just a free perfect guard from drop is kind of nice also too.
Good stuff. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your list with us there. This was Chris, the Crisp Dole, and we will see you guys in the next video.